Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I decided to do an informal video this time around just because I just stopped at this rest area. I'm on my way home and I just randomly decided to record this. But I recognize I never gave an official review for my last company, which is Universal. Universal was my second job. I did originally work for Werner, and after 1 year of driving over the road for them, I did decide to end that and go towards a more local position so that I could be home more. That was my goal. And so I chose to go from over the road to local, and the first job that I was recommended to go to from the trucking school that I attended was Universal. So during this video, I'm going to be telling the pros and cons from my experience, and it's 100% my opinion. Some people retire at Universal, so this isn't a bash, but this is me being 100% truthful. So I'm going to be giving all pros and cons, and any remarks that I just come up with, I'm gonna say them. It's just gonna be real. So first, I'm gonna start off positive. I'm gonna start off with the pros. One of the pros off the bat was I had semi-flexibility, and what I mean by that is when I originally started Universal, which I do have a video, my first week driving local, I'll link it down in the description box. But during that first week, they gave me an account where I was driving from Michigan to Chicago and back, and during that week it was very difficult for me to both get adequate rest and for me to commute from home to my job every day, because driving that long of time from Michigan to Chicago to back and then coming home, I only had around 7 hours in between the end of my first shift and the start of my second shift. So I wasn't getting more than like 5 hours of sleep each night. And so halfway into the week, I talked to one of the people who hired me in, and I'm like, hey, this isn't working for me. I know that this is one of your higher paying accounts, but I need something else, because my whole goal was to be home, and I'm working twice as hard and I'm not even going home. I'm not even able to do anything at the house. So they're like, okay, we have this account for you where you can choose a route, and it'll be like a 9-to-5 type situation where you stop at a couple stops and then you turn your truck in and you go home. So that was one big pro for me, because I was in a position where I felt like I was just gonna quit, because it didn't make sense for me to drive local if I wasn't gonna be able to get home and do anything. But they were able to give me an account where I only worked for like 8 hours, and then I was good to go home. So that was a huge pro. Another pro for me was y'all, I've been sitting here for like 2 minutes and I can't think of another pro. I guess the other pro is just that it's local, that I was able to go home every day, but I can't think of another pro, and I'm really trying. If I can think of another one, I'll probably write it down on the screen. But now let's go into the cons, because there's a few of them. One con off the bat was it was my lowest paying job out of all of my jobs in trucking. This job I was paid hourly, $22 an hour. That was my start out pay. I was originally being paid more than that. It was a fixed rate, and I was getting paid a tad bit more. I can't really recall exactly what it was, but that was when I was doing the account where I was never home pretty much. And so And it wasn't that much more. It was probably like $100 more a week. It wasn't that much. To me, it wasn't worth it. But yeah, this was $22 an hour is not terrible pay, but when you think of trucking, it's one of the lower pay. And considering I already had a year's worth of experience, to drop, because understand I was getting paid more entry level. Once I got a year worth of experience, I dropped the pay, you know, sort of tremendously, honestly. So to me, it wasn't a fair trade-off, but I was trying to get some stuff done at home. So that was definitely a con. Another con was they were super inconsistent with their rules. I spoke about this a few times in different videos, but I'll just say it very briefly in this one. They were giving random write-ups over things that they either never spoke about to people before, and it wasn't just me, or it was just irrational. Like, for instance, I got a write-up for not logging out of my tablet, except they never told me that that was a problem. And as far as I'm concerned, the tablet was attached to my truck. So the only reason why someone else would use my tablet is if they were using my truck. And if they were going to use my tablet, they would have to log out of my account to log into theirs. And so while I can understand a verbal reprimand or some type of a heads up, like, hey, make sure you log out, I received a random write-up for it. Now, I don't know how important a write-up is for this company, but I don't take any of that lightly, because you're telling me that I did something wrong. So wrong that you're going to put this on my record, which to me was very, very inconsistent, considering they handed me a tablet and gave me a charger that did not match it. So I was going dead over the road because they didn't even have the correct charger for the tablet. Like, they were just real inconsistent, period. Like, they were very, like, janky. I hate to use such a, like, bogus word, but, like, they were janky. The yard was dirty. They only had 2 pumps available. Most of the time, either one pump was very slow. At some point, both pumps were broken. There was a time where I called them, like, hey, is the pumps working? And they're like, we brought an additional portable pump to our facility. You can use that pump to go and fuel. And so I go to almost fuel, and then I'm getting stopped by a bunch of yard dogs, like, hey, you can't pump here. That's for non-driving on the road use only, because this has dye in it and you can get fined and you can get in trouble and all that stuff. So I'm being told by the dispatch that's literally upstairs in the building that I'm outside of to use a pump that these yard dogs are telling me could get me in massive trouble. So it's like they were very inconsistent, very unorganized, very janky. They were making me look bad, because why do I have a write-up? What? Being that I came from a company that they had nominated me for driver of the month, and I had only been there for less than a year at this point, and I was getting compliments left and right, and I got a bonus in my check and all of that because they saw me as a very good driver. And as I left, they offered me a position with their safety department for $55K a year. I turned it down because it was in Illinois, and plus I'm not trying to get a desk job. But knowing that they valued me that much, for me to go to that company, to this company where they're writing me up over a tablet not being logged out of, y'all know. Another thing that was a huge con for me was they had it where they would pass out the tablets in the morning and you would have to give them back in the evening, and they would stack them all on this one desk, and I never saw them like wiping it or cleaning it and everything, and a lot of people were touching it. It's just a lot of hands touching on stuff. And also they have it where in order to clock in, you have to put your fingerprint on the machine, and it's just a lot of touchiness for y'all to be also passing out masks like y'all care about COVID. Like, I felt like it could have been another thing implemented to keep this going, but they were just like, here, we're gonna spread all these germs, and then here's a mask. And it was like, what? Another con to me was, honestly, this is probably a little bit small, but it was just the random hustle and bustle about clocking in. The way that everything was set up, the way that the parking lot was set up, because there were 2 separate parking lots. And they were probably like a block away from each other, but not really, because it was all on one block. But just imagine this for me. Probably a building away, right? A building or 3. You would pull into one parking lot, park in your vehicle, like your car, walk, I would say 4 truck lengths from where your car is parked to the building, walk upstairs, clock in, retrieve your paperwork and your tablet and your keys to the truck that you're going to be using, which is the truck that's assigned to you, so no one else should be using it. Sometimes they do lend it to other people, which is also a con. But from there, then you go downstairs to the desk that's right there, you retrieve some more paperwork, then you walk back outside to your car, which your car wasn't able to be parked anywhere near the door of the building because it's gated off, so you can only walk through the little doorway. So like you can't even park nowhere near the doors. You gotta travel to get to the building, is what I'm saying. And this was around the time it was snowing and it was cold and things like that, so you got wind hitting you, ice and snow and stuff, just to get to the building. Then you walk back to your car, pull out, go to the other entrance, which is, like I said, about 2-3 buildings away. You go down there, you park your car, you get all your stuff, walk out of this area, because again, this part is gated off too, so it's nowhere near your truck. You walk out, and then you walk over to the truck parking lot, and then you get in your truck. When you're about to clock out, you have to drive the trailer, park your truck over here, then you walk to your car, then you drive your car all the way to the other lot, then you get out, you walk to go and hand your keys and your tablet and your paperwork and all that stuff back, you clock out, then you walk all the way back to your car, and now you can pull up. Like, that junk got repetitive day after day. And don't get me wrong, it's not a huge deal. It's not even I wasn't complaining about it, but it's a lot of hustle and bustle just to be clocking in and clocking out. And I just think that the way that it was set up, they could have set it up a lot better. I'm gonna turn this light on. That didn't do absolutely anything. Maybe this light, oops. We're gonna make it quick. That didn't help nothing. There we go. So yeah, it was, I think that even their lots were just not structured the best way. But other than that, another con was they didn't have direct deposit. They had literally implemented direct deposit 2 weeks before I officially quit. So at this point, I'm about to leave, you know. So the entire time I was there, they were handing you paper checks every week, and I would have to go and deposit it at the bank, which that would be the first job that I ever had where I had to take physical checks every week. Now, of course, you know, some jobs, they'll give you 1 physical check the first time around until your direct deposit hits. But no, this company, they were going strictly off checks, which to me was very outdated. I don't know if more companies do this, if it's like a local trucking company thing, but to me, I felt like, what are the reasons why you haven't yet gotten into direct deposit? You know, another con for me was, I guess this is more of just a local thing, but when I did start doing the account that I was on, I was going to the same spots over and over again, and honestly, I will say it got boring. For me, the biggest part about trucking that I like is the fact that it's sort of unpredictable. I'm going to random places. Yeah, I go to the same places sometimes more frequently than others, but there's still a variety of places that I'm going to. And when it came down to local, I was going to the exact same places every day. I was only going to 3 stops, the same stops per day. And it was to the point where I didn't need GPS ever, because I knew exactly where I was driving, because it was the same exact route. That got boring. That took away a lot of the fun of trucking for me. It just felt like a 9 to 5. And when you consider that I was clocking in every day, you know, and clocking out and driving home, it just felt like a job. And for me, what was the point then of having a CDL if I'm just going to a job getting paid $22 an hour? You know, like, it just didn't feel like trucking anymore. It felt like I was just at a job. Like, I might as well be at like Chrysler or something, which there's nothing wrong with a job, but I got a CDL to drive a truck. I wanted to experience, you know, the trueness of it, the lifestyle, you know. So I think this company was the most unprofessional company that I'd ever been in. I say that very lightly because I've only been in 3 companies, but just understand, going from a company like Werner, where a lot of people have negative things to say about Werner, but I've already said in my last video that they treated me very well, and I really did enjoy them, and I felt the most appreciated by them. Going from that to Universal, where they were writing me up, according to y'all, they set me up, which I did not think twice about it once y'all said it, because it sounds just like them. Universal, to me, I think that they were just real janky, and they did not care about nobody out here, and it was a lot of perverts on the job. Don't get me wrong, there are perverts in trucking, period, but that was another con. At this point now, I have coworkers because I'm seeing y'all every single day. It's a male-dominated company, and so you got people flirting, and then you got people like paying you way too much attention, and it's just like, y'all some perverts, and I don't even like this company, and y'all pay me too little, and I gotta cash my check every week, and y'all keep giving me write-ups about stupid stuff, and y'all pumps are down, and I'm just not here for it. Overall, if I were to grade Universal, I would honestly give them a D-, and the only reason why it's not an F is because I can understand that the Universal that I was at was only 1 location. And the only reason why I even knew that is because they called me like 2 weeks after I quit, and they were like, it was like a higher up, and they were like, you know, telling me like, oh, we're so sorry, we're sorry that you felt that you didn't like this job. Was there any way that we could get you back? Maybe we could transfer you to another location, because maybe it was just that it wasn't a good fit for you, that location. And in my mind, I'm like, so you're aware that this location is trash or what? Because I'm telling you that they are very terrible acting to people, and your response to that is maybe it wasn't a good fit for me. Who would it be fit for? You know, like it's not like I had an individual issue with somebody, though there were plenty. It was more of a conglomerate of like inconsistency and structural issues. Maybe y'all should work on fixing this company before you call me asking me if I want to transfer, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're comfortable with this place being trash, it's likely wherever I get transferred to will be trash too, you know. So who knows though, it may be false, I may be wrong, but I know I wasn't wrong for quitting. I'll never regret it. Yeah, I just wanted to give that off. I probably will just post this, I don't know, maybe before Sunday or whatever, but let me know in the comments below how you feel about this video. Forgive me if this video wasn't as positive. I'm just trying to be real though, you know. Like, I don't want to be out here faking it for the sake of saying sweeter words, because I don't have many sweet words for that company. I don't have any negative feelings, but I'm glad that I'm gone. So yeah, I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thank you all for your support as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.